Alright guys, so I began sanding down the filler. Alright, and I'm using 3M. Where is it? 3M. This one. Because it's really good. Compared to the other cheap brands that you can get at Walmart and all those stuff, don't do it. Get 3M. 3M is the best one I've seen so far. But yeah, I'm sanding on the filler. So I started with 40 grit, 80 grit, and I'm going to move on to 180 grit. Then go back to 320 grit, and oh damn it, I'm telling you, all these little crevices and little corners, it ain't easy to get to, especially if you have to do it by hand. You can't use a machine. So yeah, but let me show you what's going on. So this is where we are, sanding on currently at 80 grit, going to move to 180 grit shortly. And then we're going to basically smooth down everything, 320, and prime everywhere. And then we can go ahead and start prepping up, taping up, and doing everything for spray after I sand down the primer. I usually sand down the primer with 400 or anything equivalent to 600 grit to get a smoother finish. I don't want to go too high in grit, like 800 or anything like that, because the paint won't stick. You need something, you need that scratch surface, a 400 or 600 scratch surface for it to stick properly. I've seen people use 800 grit. That's them. This is me. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. This is just what I do. Alright, so alright, you'll see everything when it's done, complete. Alright guys, see you in a little. Alright, so we just finished sanding now with 80 grit, 40, 80. Now to move on to 180. So 40 to cut it down, 80 to make it a little bit smoother and to cut out those 40 grit sandpaper marks, then 180 to get out those sandpaper marks, cut it down a little bit more, get it a little bit smoother, and then 320 so I can prime over 320, and 320 to get out the 180. It's a process, but the way it is now, you're going to see less, and it's going to be smoother, and it's going to be able to prime. I cannot prime over these harsh grits because you're going to see the sandpaper marks. I don't care what primer fill you use. If you prime over 40 or 80, you're going to see sandpaper marks. Alright, so that's where we are right now. Alright, here we are now guys. So finish 180, then 320. Alright, so I want to primer so I can see the imperfections in the filler, because usually you have little pittings, little pinholes, and I'm going to putty those. So as of right now, I see some imperfections, and I'm just going to go ahead and putty that before I even do anything else, and then wait for that to dry, and then we can primer. And after I primer, if I see anything else, putty, and then boom. Alright, so this is what I've seen so far with my own eyes. So when the primer goes on, I'll probably see more. But I put on the chicken pox. Yes, I call this chicken pox. So I put on the putty for everything that I saw in terms of pitting, pinholes, little dents that I missed, some deeper sandpaper marks, and then we're going to see what the primer reveals. Yeah. Alright guys, so we just finished priming. Alright, I didn't need to prime here, I just had extra primer, but here it is. Flat surfaces, no holes right there. Flat surface, I did the back part over there too, and there are some sandpaper marks. I'm going to be transparent, alright, and I'm going to fill the sandpaper marks. If you can see, like little sandpaper marks, well, you can't, okay, there you go, like right there, sandpaper marks. So those little sandpaper marks that I find, I'm just gonna putty them. It doesn't really make sense to me to try and sand that out right now because it's just a few. But when I find those, I get rid of them. I just don't leave them there. Yeah, so And there's some over here because this corner was so hard to get to. Where is it? I can't even see them anymore. Okay, maybe the primer fill took care of most of them. But yeah, so this is the outcome with the primer. And I'm gonna do a little bit more putty on the little spots that I find, because I found some pinholes, some little indents. Just gonna putty those slightly and then sand it down, and then we painting, and that's it. Alright guys, so I am just finishing up cleaning up with Prep All. I use this to wipe down the engine bay, and I'm gonna spray the inside of this bonnet. Yeah, don't mind my bamboo stick that's holding up the bonnet right now, because I have to spray the hinges. So this is the only, and I don't have any space in the storage. So this is my only method right now until I figure something else out. But this is where we are. Taped out everything, cleaned up everything, sand back down the primer, and we're ready for paint. We are ready for paint. All the little spots that you see that have metal, I'm just going to touch that up with etching primer before I spray, and there you go. But everything else is wonderful. These late night spray jobs are killing me. But engine bay done. I think it was 3 coats of clear. But I'm coming back in the morning so you can see it properly. But this is with the little light on it. 3 coats clear. I got the inside too. Everywhere. Yeah, this is it. I'm done. I'm going home. I need rest. Alright guys, we are done with the engine bay, and it came out wonderfully. As you can see. Well, as you take a look at the engine bay, everything came out beautifully. Better than I expected, thank God. So we gave it 3 coats of clear. You know, we did everything that we said we were going to do. We shaved off some, we covered up some holes, and everything came out beautifully. Alright, so the next step now, we're putting the K in the engine bay. See how I just rhymed? We're putting the K in the engine bay. Right, so as soon as my brother takes it home, I'm going to start the process of putting the boost K in the engine bay. Yeah, but as far as the color, we bought the color for the whole car. We're going to do the trunk as well. But dear Lord, I was here until 2 a.m. Well, that's it. That's about it. Everything else that you want to see, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment and let me know what's going on. We sprayed the inside of the bonnet as well, the top part. Yeah. So comment on what you want to see, and if you have any questions, as I said, just let me know. Alright, so subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell so you can see much more that is to come with this car, with the Integra that we posted, and we have 2 more cars that we bought, and yeah, we're supposed to be moving out of this storage and finding a better place. So alright guys, see y'all later.